We are coming to you right here, right now. Stay in line. We have gotten a third room as we have sold out this campus stop 3 times, but we are coming to you. We will fit you in.
Hey guys. What up? I don't know if I've ever assumed this position in my life. Hey guys. We're coming to see you. Why would you? Never mind. Bro, did you rip Adam's entire video and re-upload it as a Reddit video? Why would you do this? What the f?
I want to respond to something Brylan said really quickly, because I was at Trump's Madison Square Garden rally. I go to these rallies and I have very respectful conversations with Trump's biggest supporters.
Do you think if you let it load, do you think the Reddit videos ever actually load? I'm gonna get a Red Bull, hold on.
One eternity later.
What's actually coming across to you guys?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. First of all, I like your suit. I wasn't talking about you in particular. But also, I want to respond to something Brylan said really quickly, because I was at Trump's Madison Square Garden rally. I go to these rallies and I have very respectful conversations with Trump's biggest supporters. And there is one common theme among all of them, and it's that none of them can name a single economic policy from Trump. So when it comes to VP Harris, she has a housing plan for people like Brylan and I, first-time homebuyers, so we get a tax incentive. When it comes to the child tax credit, a $6,000 child tax credit, not a giveaway, but an incentive for people to build families. Also an incentive for small businesses to start up with a tax deduction. And I don't know if this is loud, but I'd like to pose the question to Brylan. Can you name a single economic policy that Trump has for Gen Z? Just a single policy.
Well, first, let me say to that, why hasn't she done it? Why has she not encouraged?
She's not the president.
Let's load up the next line from the script. Well, why didn't she do it when she was the vice president?
The president, yeah, well, she has lunch with the president at least once a week, hopefully more than once a week, and she could be encouraging these policies. She hasn't done that.
She's not Biden.
She's been on an economic task force at the White House. We've seen none of this. She hasn't offered to fix the broken economy that her administration has put in place. But for the second thing on that, the policy that you're evading, that was her very first economic rollout, is this thing of price caps and price gouging when it comes to what we've seen at the gas stations. The last time that was implemented was by Jimmy Carter, who is arguably one of the most failed presidents in history in his time in office. When he did that, we saw long lines at the gas pumps. Our parents and grandparents' generation remembers that. These policies that she's trying to put in place have been tried and have been failed. She clearly didn't, she slept through history class, because what she's trying to put in place isn't working again. So you're kind of cherry picking policies that she's put out there as a response to failed policies. But my response quickly is just, why hasn't she tried to run all those policies when she ran as a presidential candidate in 2020 or when she was elected vice president that same year? It's pretty disappointing to see that.
Wow, that
really quickly, I want to ask you one more time. Can you name a single policy? Can
Oh.
you name one single policy? Because you completely didn't answer my question. Is it the tariffs?
I think he did, actually.
No, he
Adam.
didn't.
I think he named
No,
quite a
he
number of
didn't.
policies
But
just
also,
there.
President Trump has loved to put a small business administration together. He put that together for the first time, and he's made a very clear point that he's going to do that in his second administration.
Well,
Because he's a businessman.
He's only referred to tariffs on Chinese exports, and by the way, price gouging laws exist in many states across the country.
Maybe you know what? I'm going to open up a
Oh, wait, and this was prior to the election? This video's like a year old almost?
TikTok account and so forth. I'm going to follow you. I want you to follow me back. I'll give you all the information you need. And you know what? I'll give you a preview right now. No tax on tips. No tax on overtime. And for your mama and your daddy, your grandparents, no tax on Social Security. So that's actually, when you look at it, President Trump is like Oprah. He's giving something to everyone, including you.
Why didn't he do that his first 4 years, though? Why didn't he already do that? I can put the same question back
Because
to
he
you.
was actually creating a foundation.
In 2018, the largest tax.
What's up, America? Brian Hollyhans here, about 30,000 feet up. We are on the way to Arkansas. So everybody in line at the University of Arkansas to kick off my 10-stop campus tour. We are coming to you right here, right now. Stay in line. We have gotten a third room as we have sold out this campus stop 3 times. But we are coming to you. We will fit you in. Students will get priority, but we will make it happen. I cannot be more excited. We are back. We are on the road. We're coming to you one conversation at a time. If you're not at the University of Arkansas, we're coming to a campus near you soon, so check out my tour dates. We'll see you super soon.
Hey guys. What up? I don't know if I've ever assumed this position in my life. Hey guys. We're coming to see you. Oh, I feel like I feel like I just got like 10% gay. I don't want to make homophobic jokes. Stop. Okay. All right, I'm done. That's all I have for today. Sorry, I can't say politics. Get me the fuck out. Get me out! I need to find Gustav. Okay, I need to bring him back. Why would you? Never mind.
All right, when y'all score, I want to see the gritty. Want to see the gritty? Yeah, I want to see the gritty.
The best thing about the iPhone Air is actually how much it seems to have freed Apple up to make the Pro phones even more pro.
Wow.
Have you noticed that? These new Pro phones are thicker than last year, more room inside for bigger batteries and a vapor chamber and a bigger camera. It's not quite on the level of the Ultra phones, but this is the most maximalist.
Wait, what is that? Is there an iPhone Ultra? What's there between Ultra and Pro? What?
Chamber and a bigger camera. It's not quite on the level of the Ultra phones, but this is the most maximalist that an iPhone has ever felt. And I like it. But also, let me let you in on a little not so secret. The Pro phone is always the best-selling one. Like this year, the iPhone Air is the most interesting and it's getting the most YouTube clicks and the most views. But then the base 17 is more than ever the one that most people should get and the best deal. But it turns out the Pro Max specifically, by far, is the most popular by sales numbers. I was going to try to find a way to show you guys this. You know, channel sponsor dbrand, they make a accessory for every single model of iPhone. And so their sales distributions kind of match Apple's. And this is a distribution this year. Over half are Pro Maxes. And
wow.
22 Pros, that's like 90% of orders. So yeah, it's fun to watch Apple kind of walk this line between being a more pro phone than ever before and this maximalist new design and everything they're doing, but also being literally the most mainstream phone of all time. Like the cameras. Might as well start there, right? The cameras are the most pro thing about the Pro iPhone every year. And on one hand, no professional would say, oh yeah, thank gosh I have 8 lenses now in my smartphone, like Apple seems to want us to believe. It clearly has 3. But the 3 cameras you get are more evenly matched than ever. The primary and ultra-wide are essentially unchanged from last year, but the telephoto gets a big update. It's now also a 48 megapixel camera, and it's a 4x telephoto lens. Last year was a 5x, but only 12 megapixels. So this new one feels like a more natural portrait focal length. It's roughly 100 millimeter equivalent, and all of your zoom shots will have much more detail and much less noise, thanks to the sensor being much larger and much higher resolution. Now, I will give them credit for the specific 2x zoom increments because while they are not actually new lenses, they do specifically process each of the images shot in a 2x crop to be slightly sharper and better looking than just a pure digital crop on the middle of the sensor. So, you know, it's not the level of a pure optical zoom, but it's better than nothing. So I don't know why they only do it at these focal lengths, honestly. Either way, it's a really nice total package now. 3 matching 48 megapixel cameras, all of which are super reliable, just as good for casual shooters as they are for people who depend on their iPhone for work, or maybe who happen to have an entire YouTube channel about cars that they happen to shoot all on smartphones. Yeah. Electric G-Wagon review coming to autofocus shot on iPhone 17 Pro very soon. I do still kind of find myself wishing they made some other improvements, like the point light problem at night when you shoot in the dark and those little flares always show up. They haven't fixed that at all. Or even adding 8K video support. There's a 2 terabyte iPhone model now. I feel like 8K
you can't even shoot 8K video? What?
Video is just a flip of a switch away, but not this year. But you know, the changes are stacked up nicely over the years from older Pro phones like the 13 Pro and the 14 Pro. It's not a huge difference versus last year, but it's nice. Also, what you're watching right now is ProRes RAW footage from the iPhone 17 Pro, which I was particularly excited about because that means I can go into the new Final Cut Pro 11.2, I think it is, and I can literally change ISO and white balance after I shoot, which is very useful. Also, the file sizes are huge. And there's even another Pro feature that they added that they couldn't brand for themselves because pros already use it and named it, and that's Genlock support, which basically lets devices talk to each other so that they can stay in sync over large multi-device shoots. Pretty sick. And also, the selfie cameras are more pro than ever. More about that in the 17 base review. But yeah, a lot going on with cameras. So let's be real, 95% of people who get these phones are just going to point and shoot, and these are more capable and reliable than ever for that. If you want more in-depth stuff on shooting like professionally with this camera, you can check out Tyler Stallman's review, which I'll link below. It's really in-depth, and he shot the whole thing also on the iPhone. My favorite thing about this new Pro iPhone.
How could he shoot it when the iPhone is literally right there in frame? What? Oh, maybe a mirror.
Thing also on the iPhone. My favorite thing about this new Pro iPhone though is actually the new design. It's not often that the newest iPhones actually change a lot and get thicker and heavier, but like I said, I think that's kind of one of the best things about them coming out with a separate phone that's designed just to be super thin, so that if you want a thin phone, go get the Air. But if you don't care about that, if that's not one of your priorities, then here's the new Pro, which goes the other direction and isn't afraid of a few extra fractions of an inch. And I love that it's an all unibody metal jacket now. This is not a glass sandwich anymore. Literally the whole body of the phone is metal now with glass cutouts at the back for wireless charging and then at the top for those millimeter wave antennas. This makes it more durable, it makes more room inside for a bigger battery, which we'll get to in a second, and there's enough room for a vapor chamber for the first time ever in an iPhone. And then the new plateau at the top. I actually think it's great. This is where I've been putting my index finger on Android phones for years. It's like a natural resting spot to hold up the phone. Same thing with this one now. And Corning's Ceramic Shield 2, in case you haven't already heard, is also clearly awesome for preventing scratches to the front glass. A couple of nitpicks though. No black color Pro phone. You sickos. This is like one of those weird things that I feel like Apple's doing just to spite me, where they're making a bunch of products that should have a black version, but don't. Like the new MacBook Airs come in silver and starlight and sky blue and dark blue, but no black. And then the AirPods Max refresh also comes in a bunch of colors and dark blue, but no black. We need a dark neutral, especially because the color that you pick actually shows up around the front bezel of the phone. So you see the color you pick all the time. It makes the orange and silver that much more annoying to me. I told you it was a nitpick. But then you've probably also already seen the chatter about Scratchgate, which is just how easily it seems like the anodization layer on top of the aluminum seems to scratch off and then reveal the raw silver aluminum underneath it. And I kind of don't really know what to make of this yet. Like, I feel like this has come up before with a lot of darker anodized aluminum phones. And as a person who rocks a phone with no case, I haven't had any issues with the one I'm using. I've been tossing it around, but the JRig Everything test has revealed that the weakest part that you could get scratched or dinged is going to be around the tightest corner radii, like around the camera plateau. So we'll see how many phones this ends up affecting. But we got to talk about the insides of this phone, because the redesign is one thing, but there's even more going on under the surface. The A19 Pro chip, shocker, is pretty great. It's benchmarked around 20% faster than the last generation. And when paired with iOS 26 and 12 gigs of RAM now, these phones feel really quick.
And you can vape with it, right?
But the extra thickness has also made room for a vapor chamber for the first time. And it's actually made a real difference to the thermals and the behavior of this phone. Big shout out to HDX Studio, YouTuber, who was able to put thermal cameras on these phones under load and really visualize this. But especially compared to the Air, these phones rarely got any more than slightly warm to the touch for me. And as a result, they were able to actually hold higher frame rates longer while gaming and keep the display brightness higher when recording videos for a long time. Check out the rest of his video too, by the way. It's freaking incredibly well done. But it also reminded me about why in the Android world, like gaming phones kind of have the same effect. The stuff that makes a gaming phone really good, like better speakers and better performance and better screen and big batteries, well, all that stuff is awesome for regular use too. And it's the same deal for the Pro iPhone. The stuff that makes a really good Pro iPhone, like the improved display and the much better cameras and the thicker, better build with improved cooling for shooting videos longer and better sustained performance. Yeah, it turns out the masses buying iPhone 17 Pro Max also really enjoy nicer screens, cameras, and batteries too. Not a surprise. And we've all been saying for years, hey, just make a thicker phone and put more battery in it. I just really feel like this is another place where having an iPhone Air focusing on getting super thin, let them feel free to go the total other direction with the other phones, because if they're going to claim the iPhone Air is all-day battery life, then great. Every single other phone in the lineup gets even thicker with bigger batteries. So the 17 Pro has a 20% bigger battery than last year.
Another 20%.
And the Pro Max actually cracks the 5,000 milliamp hour mark for the first time ever, which is great in iPhone land, and also 40-watt charging now. So that's half battery in 20 minutes. To Apple,
did they say 5,000 milliamp hour or whatever?
So the 17 Pro has a 20% bigger battery than last year, and the Pro Max actually cracks the 5,000 milliamp hour mark for the first time ever, which is great in iPhone land, and also 40-watt charging now, so that's half battery in 20 minutes. To Apple, that's a big deal. Like, we welcome a 20% year-over-year improvement. Now in Android land, obviously it kind of looks like nothing. Like, it's nowhere near the Ultra phones with 6,000 milliamp hour silicon carbon batteries and 100-watt charging and all that. But for a phone that ships like in the volume that the iPhone does, very happy to see that sort of improvement when last year's phone already had really good battery. The iPhone is also very efficient, so I am getting a nice 5+ hours of screen on time every day on not even the bigger phone, and it's lasting all day with 30+% left, so I'm loving it. And then there's just all sorts of other little things too. Like with this screen, I think this is the first generation of iPhone that's had a toggle for PWM dimming. Now it's buried in the accessibility settings, but you can search and find it, and that is very welcome to many people. And there's also a slightly noticeable but better than nothing anti-reflective coating, but more importantly, the display gets slightly brighter now, and I noticed that it's up to 3,000 nits peak. And satellite connectivity has expanded to cover messaging and location sharing too now, which is useful. So at the end of the day, the paradox is that making the Pro iPhones more Pro is actually better for the masses. And this is the best one yet. It's the most freed one yet. And I think, when they eventually, if they make some iPhone Ultra at some point, I'll probably still want all of that over this. But for now, this is good stuff. Now, if you are thinking about getting an iPhone 17, but you are concerned about those scratches, then channel sponsor dbrand does have some options for you, like this grip case, which I have here in that black. And it also does a pretty good job of hiding that plateau, which if you've seen Zach's durability test, it is the most vulnerable spot for the anodization to chip off. Alternatively, if you're more of a clear case person, you can grab one of their ghost cases instead, which comes with a lifetime zero yellowing guarantee and also have full camera protection.
Zero yellowing.
Both cases check all the boxes you want in an iPhone case.
What yellow is normally? What does that mean?
You can grab one of their ghost cases instead, which comes with a lifetime zero yellowing guarantee and also have full camera protection. Fun fact, these are also available at Best Buy in the US now too. Both cases check all the boxes you want in an iPhone case, like strong MagSafe and camera control.
Plastic becomes yellow and looks like pee.
Buttons. But most importantly, they're both super protective. And then whichever way you
go, dude, those are iPhones.
You can also pick up one of dbrand's Prism protectors. They're super easy to install. And if you bundle it with either a grip case or a ghost case, you can use code MKBHD at checkout to save 42% on the Prism. Pretty sweet deal. I'll leave a link down below for you to check them all out. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys very soon, still in September, in the next one. Peace.
That's fucking wild.